Hubby and I decided to celebrate Easter in the Greek island of Crete. My good friends, Nance and RC, tagged along, and the four of us spent our days visiting picturesque towns, beautiful beaches, driving around the island, and eating as much Greek food as our tummies can handle. The surprisingly cold weather did not stop us from having a blast. Cretans have a unique way of welcoming visitors and making them feel at home. Maybe it's the abundance of free Rockies after a meal, beautiful sceneries, delicious foods, or maybe it's the local warm hospitality. Whatever it is, many holiday goers keep on coming back for more.
Look.
We arrived late in the afternoon at Heraklion Airport. After picking up our rented car, we set off and began our 2-hour drive to Hania, arriving at our hotel when the sun was about to set. We are all poofed out from our journey, so after freshening up, we stayed at the hotel and ordered some foods. Theodosi restaurant serves very tasty dishes, much to our surprise. We all then hit the hay, well fed, happy, and excited for our Greek holiday. On the second day, the group went to explore Hania's old town and the Venetian harbor. The ladies disappeared like a puff of smoke and went on a shopping spree. Hubby and I, on the other hand, leisurely explored some historical landmarks. Then, we sat down at a random restaurant lining the port for some early morning mojitos. Cause why not, right?
Like something new, yeah.
We met up again for lunch, ordered and shared humongous plates of sea creatures. One of the reasons why we chose this island is because of the abundance of seafoods and its reasonable prices. After our sumptuous lunch, my friends continued with their retail therapy, while Hubby and I headed to the Venetian walls. It extends until the Egyptian lighthouse, which happens to be one of the oldest lighthouses in the world. This is the focal point and the most photographed place in Hania. Coming here in April certainly has its perks. It might be too windy or too cold, but it also has less visitors, making it less crowded. We then went and explored the narrow, picturesque alleys behind the harbor, filled with trendy cafes, old tavernas, stylish boutiques, and countless shops. You can spend the entire day scouting the different quarters of this buzzing area. For that night's dinner, we went back to Theodosi restaurant and had some fresh and healthy salads, full of the bone tender ribs, and Greek pork tacos, which is basically gyros. Crete is famous for its numerous beautiful beaches. However, our place in Hania was noticeably too cold during our visit, so we searched for warmer places. With bathing suits packed, we hopped onto our car and drove off, and on our third day, we went on a road trip. The first order of the day was to get food. We are about to leave Hania when we saw a colorful Greek Orthodox church perched on a hill. We got curious and checked it out. On the opposite side of the road was an empty beach. It is adorned by palm trees and has a river streaming through it. We essentially have the entire place to ourselves. I'm not sure if it's the cold, that's why it's empty, but we did not linger on and simply moved on. And with my friends frolicking at the beach in their bathing suits and hubby looking after our belongings, I went ahead and explored the palm forest. Looking forward to reach the top. Many buildings are painted white with blue accent like Santorini, and the ladies had a blast taking souvenir photos. We decided to give hubby, our appointed driver, a break, so we just visit the coastal town of Rethymno, another famous travel destination in the island of Crete. We intend to rent a boat and explore the coast of Aegean Sea today, and we're scouting for one at the harbor when it began raining. We took shelter at the nearest restaurant and ordered some food while waiting for the downpour to subside. Unfortunately, it did not. As the downpour gets heavier, we sat down at a cafe adorned with artistic pieces and shared an utterly delicious goat's milk cheesecake topped with raspberry sauce. We also ordered cheese-filled phyllo pastry drowning in honey and crushed nuts.
Mädels. Unantal. Furchtbar.
This is our last dinner as a group since the ladies will be traveling back to Germany the next day. So we spent a lovely evening at a trendy and beautifully appointed restaurant overlooking the town of Hania. The place looked upscale with a relaxed atmosphere. The view from this place is unbeatable. To top it all off, the food tasted as good as it looked. It was indeed a short vacation for my friends, but we did make the most of it. And so, for the last time, we did a toast and say, it was raining cats and dogs when we left Hania, and it took us almost 3 hours to reach Heraklion Airport. After saying goodbye and auf Wiedersehen to my friends, we parted ways. They started their journey home, and hubby and I have to stay for another week in Greece. A friendly taxi driver recommends us this local eatery, It's his family's favorite. It reminds me of a Filipino carinderia where cooked foods are laid out and patrons only have to point out which dish they want. They serve local Cretan dishes, mostly stews. We ordered some beans, a bowl of seafood rice, and a portion of tender beef in tomato sauce. We also shared a tasty tiramisu. This is by far our favorite restaurant in Crete. The food tasted homemade, the portions are just right, and the prices very reasonable. We spent the rest of our day at the Venetian harbor. The heavy rain that day made the sea unrolly. It was a sight to behold. Heraklion also has a few interesting archaeological sites spread across the city. If you want to dig deeper into its past, the city also houses the Heraklion Archaeological Museum, which contains a complete collection of artifacts of the Minoan civilization. Our aimless stroll of the city eventually led us to a park surrounded by restaurants offering various foods. From burgers to sushis, modern to traditional grubs, you will be spoiled with choices. And for dinner, we enjoyed some typical Greek fares. Gyros, which is cheap and filling and the best meal you can get on a budget. We returned to our hotel that night with bellies full of delicious Greek food and excited for the next leg of our Greek journey. On the 6th day, we took the ferry and traveled to another Greek island, Santorini. We spent 5 glorious days on that island before returning to Crete. We did not do much after returning. However, high on Hubby's list of things to do on the island is to explore the Minoan palace of Knossos. We managed to give this place a visit on our 7th day. Knossos happens to be the largest Bronze Age archaeological site on Crete and is known as Europe's oldest city. The palace suffered through many calamities such as earthquakes and the volcanic eruption of the neighboring Santorini. Left standing are few remnants of the Minoan civilization. On the complex are scattered ruins of the multi-story palace. According to Greek mythology, it is the home of the half-man, half-bull creature, the Minotaur. A mural of it can be seen on its walls. So that sums up our first ever Greek holiday. There are still many places we haven't explored and foods we haven't tasted, but it gave me more reasons to revisit Greece one day, and I'm looking forward to that adventure. After all, a life well traveled is a life well lived. And if you have the means and a will, go on an adventure. It will turn you into a storyteller.